This is on trail day number 87. It's Thursday, September 17th of 2020. Camp last night was right here over the tent platform. They have several of them here. Another one over there. And the pond, I don't know if you can see rippling through the trees, not too far away. There's two more platforms up there. Had hikers on them last night. But we're about packed up, just gotta take the tarp down. And it's 10:30, so I'm gonna try to do 10.4 miles today. Skip a shelter. We're gonna go through the gap in 4 miles. I can't remember the name right off, but there's a garbage can there, parking area, so I'll get rid of my trash. And I got 2 more solid days of food. Could probably stretch out to 4 more, but Andover will be the next town stop, I believe. Probably in 2, maybe 3 days. We'll just have to see. My gut hooks map runs out at the gap, so I gotta try to load a new one at some point today on top of the mountain, hopefully. And then plan it out a little bit better from there, but it was a little chilly last night, not too bad. It's chilly, overcast this morning, but the worst part of the day is taking the hoodie off and putting on the pack. But we'll be started shortly. So I'm headed uphill from Old Spec campsite, I believe it was. And we're in the clouds. It's like wind blowing. It's pretty cold. The watch says it's 48 degrees right now. So I have 800 and something feet of ascent between here and Grafton Notch. And like 700 foot is in the next mile. So I'm just taking it kind of slow. I don't want to work up a sweat, because then I will freeze to death when I get to the top. I ran into some section hikers, and they said it was super windy up here. So I may have to stop and put the raincoat on to block some of the wind. But it doesn't look like I'll be getting any views today with all this cloud cover. So there is a couple of waterfalls on the way down to Grafton Notch. Those may be kind of cool. But we'll see what we're able to see, and hopefully when I get to the top of Old Spec here, I'll have enough service to download the next map and gut hooks, because it ends at Grafton Notch, and all the comments say there's no cell service there. So if not, I'll just rely on AWOL like I did before I had gut hooks until I can get service enough. But we're going to get over this and get to the top of this mountain. We're almost to the top of Old Spec. We're getting a few views. As the sun's burning off the clouds. I was able to get, I checked, had a few bars of 4G, so I went ahead and uploaded the next map and gut hooks. So I got that taken care of. I just got to climb this. It's kind of cool, the rocks. It's like this rough, and then it just changes to this smooth. But we'll be at the top of Old Speck shortly. So I'm going down Old Speck. There's a tower, it says, at the top, but as you can see, it's cloudy and white out. There was some views starting to come through, and then by the time I got to the top, it was just clouds. So ran into some day hikers, and they've all said the descent down into the notch is pretty steep. So we'll see. You're getting a little bit of a view. Up there's the top where it just came from. You can see it's all clouded out. Well, maybe you can see through the trees. When you get a little lower under the clouds, you can see something. And kind of flattened out, and then had a little bit of a hill climb. And I think we'll have somewhat of like a ridge walk. And then we'll go down the steepest part into the notch. And so far today, the terrain's been pretty good. Once we got up Speck Mountain. So I'm almost to the notch, and a group of day hikers telling me it was super steep. I never saw steep unless the last little bit going down to the road, which may be because I think that's where the waterfall is at. It's super steep. The terrain's been pretty good. I mean, it's rocky, it's broody, but making decent time. Much better than the last couple of days, for sure. I'm gonna get down to the parking lot, take a lunch break, throw away my garbage, which I did not do at the hostel last, so the few days of garbage I had going over the Wildcats, I'm still carrying. Like 5 days worth of garbage. So I'll be glad to get rid of that. Which is not that much. It's all in a sandwich-sized Ziploc bag. So I guess this is our waterfall. I'm going down into Grafton Notch. Not much water to fall. But it hasn't been raining. It's probably kind of cool if it's flowing good, but not today. But yeah, that's it. I never did see anything that was steep. Not on the climb down. Oh well. Steep is all in the perspective of the person going up it. Or down it. I will be at the parking lot in a few minutes. So this is a Grafton Notch parking area. There's some privies and picnic tables over there. I used a picnic table for lunch, got rid of my garbage. My pack still feels as heavy as it did before I had lunch and got rid of my garbage. It is almost 4 o'clock. There's a shelter camp spot 2.3 miles north, or 5.8 miles. The 5.8 miles was the goal. Then I left camp a little late and chit-chatted some. It's kind of a cool trail marker. So we'll do the 2.3 miles, possibly the 5.8. It just depends on the terrain. Somebody in Gut Hooks commented that it was a pretty good trail for like the next 15 miles. So of course, that's like the steep coming down. It's one person's good trail may not be another. But so far I'm digging it. I'm about freezing, but it's, watch says it's 55 degrees, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what time of day it is when we get to the first camp area and go from there. I will say one thing, that the sign I just passed said that this section of trail was maintained by the Maine volunteers of the Maine Appalachian Trail Club. What we've been walking on has been maintained by the AMC, which is a for-profit organization that has an agreement with the Forest Service. And all those rotten boards and everything else we were walking on I don't know. So the trail since left the Notch down there at the state park. I can't remember the name of it already. It's been really good. Had an uphill section we're done with, but it was a gradual uphill. It was rocks in places, roots in places, dirt in other places, about like what you're seeing now. It was just of enough incline to break a sweat, and even though I tried to stop a few times to keep from breaking a sweat. And now I'm cold. 0.9 miles from I don't remember the name of it either. I can't remember 10 seconds ago. I just looked at it and go, Fry Notch lean-to or something like that. We were 4.4 miles from the other shelter that I wanted to get to today. It's just now 5 o'clock. So we were doing 2+ miles an hour since leaving the Notch, which is about what that Got Hooked comment said. For the next 15 miles, 2+ miles an hour. So I may decide to do that. It'll be 3-point-something miles by the time I get to this first campsite. If I do push on, I don't know, I still got 2 hours. 2.5 hours. Probably closer to 2 hours before dark. I have to go up a hill, but the elevation doesn't show that it's any worse than what we just went up. Then it kind of levels off and has another little hill, and then goes downhill. Kind of gradual. So I may try to push on, and then that'll leave 15 miles to the first chance to get into Andover. And if I was to get lucky and get up early tomorrow, I could get to Andover tomorrow afternoon. Which would be pretty good, because I got 2 dinners, probably 2 days worth of lunch, and 1 more breakfast, and I could cobble together some odds and ends for a 3rd breakfast, or 2nd breakfast. So I got like 2 days worth of food, and I kind of alternate between food I have to cook and food I don't. Like, for example, a tuna packet, I'll put a pack of mayonnaise and mustard in it, and then spread it on cream cheese and chives, Kaplan's wafers. Like that would be a lunch or a dinner that I wouldn't have to cook. But I got a Knorr side. I was going to put some, it's a Knorr rice side. I was going to put some tuna in for dinner, because I'm pretty sure I got enough fuel to cook the rice side. It doesn't take that much. Just basically bring water to a boil, put the stuff in it, and let it keep heat until it comes to a rolling boil with the rice, and then shut it off and let it sit for 20 minutes. But that's the main thing I have to cook. But anyway, I'm gonna need fuel and food. I have to figure out how far to my next town. There's a hostel in Andover. It's open, so I don't know. Either way, if I get there tomorrow afternoon, that would be pretty good. It'd be a little faster than what I had planned for. So I could take a 0. Possibly. Just depends on how I feel. I know, I'm extremely undecisive. I don't know what I'm doing 30 minutes from now, much less tomorrow. But I am digging this terrain. I had several people tell me the worst of Maine is over, but I don't believe it till you see it. I doubt it's going to be like this all the way to Katahdin, though. But from the elevation profiles, here in the next couple of days, it definitely flattens out. So maybe. Yeah, this is about like that hill was coming up from the notch. Pretty sweet. Bald plate lean-to. Kind of cool. It's 5:40. If I push that 3 miles, it'll be dark or right at it when I get there. So I think I'm gonna put my hammock up here and just call it a day. A little short of my goal, but that'll be alright. We still got time.